Good morning, afternoon, evening, everyone. Welcome to a Managersim special, I suppose you can call it, because as you can see with the first screen here, we are not at Elfsborg. This is a different game world. This is gameworld 1, the original one of the original game worlds, where it's more populated by more people, more users, and we've got more AI bots, as they're called, as well. It's a more competitive league, it's more established, it's a lot tougher, and this was my home where I was PSG manager for 23 seasons, but sadly, due to various reasons, some which I don't agree with, but I won't go down that line today. I'm showing you something very different here, and this is kind of like going back to the very first episode of the series, but this is showing a game in a different way. As I said before, this is a special, so I'll probably won't be doing this too often unless I get quite a few views, maybe, because it will take time. But this is just going back to the basics of showing how to start a club again. We did that in episode 1, which was done literally 3-4 months ago. This is a slightly different point of view of what's going on. As you can see, I'm not Lord Donut in this. This is my alter ego, Ben Virtuoso, because I've got two managers in Game World 1. My main manager is at Real Madrid. I might show you that side at the moment, but I'm going to concentrate mostly on Hibernian, which are in a Scottish League 3. As you can see, the date here is 2038. It's not 2010 as in Elfsborg. So this is more, definitely more advanced in the future. And this is basically the first sort of like few steps I will do when I get a brand new side. I've decided to go to the Scottish Division 3 on the Ben account because I wanted to start from scratch, and also I wanted to develop some really decent youth players. So what I'm going to do is first is look at the current squad and then give an idea what I'm going to do, what formation I'm going to play and stuff like that, how I normally start playing the game. This thing you can see is that the club capital is very healthy. It's about 87 million. It was originally 97 million, but I expanded the stadium from 2000, which cost 10 million of that. Basically, I'm trying to get the money down to around 15 to 20 million because we're in Division 3. We can easily survive on that. And also, when it down to that amount, 15 to 20 million, when I start investing into youth players, the quality of the youth players might actually start to get better, because the computer realizes that you're starting to get low on cash and you're investing a lot on the youth, and somehow it says, oh, I might give you a bargain 1 or 2 youth players. And for a club like Hibernia, who are in Division 3, level 3 club, not a big side, then that would be quite an advantage, having some really decent youth players coming in and playing them for the rest of their lives, maybe, or they could be grabbed by a big club. But the big club release clause, that used to happen a lot, and Managersim doesn't happen at all much, really. And that you only lose your really good youth players if you get relegated and you're on sort of like relegation release clause or anything like that, or if rarely a human side comes in for a bid for that youth player and bid a lot of money for him. But again, that rarely happens nowadays because the game worlds are not fully populated by human players anymore. We've got a good, strong, loyal amount of players in all the game worlds, but it's much lower than it used to be. But things could always improve, I guess. But anyway, this is the Hibernian side. So we're in Division Scottish League 3. So basically there's the division, that's what it currently looks like. So I've took them over during the Christmas break, so there'll be no league fixtures for quite a while. So this is a good time to rebuild the side, and we're currently 8th in the league. Hibernian, a quick history about how they were doing in this game world. Basically they are like they are in real life. They started off as a Premier League side, and as you can see in the immediate history there, they've been going up and down the leagues, and I think Division 3 is probably the worst they've been for a long time. They did have a human manager back in November 30th, Eduardo Santos, but as you can see he's not underlined, which means he doesn't exist anymore. But they haven't had that many managers, full stop. Only a few, you can see only a few managers, and some of them only been around for a couple of months. But as you can see, their history there, League 3, they got relegated from League 2, and then you can so during 2029, 30-31, they got relegated every season down to League 3, and they've stayed in League 3 now for 7 years. But they are normally a Premiership League club, but they've had a really topsy-turvy couple of years since the game was created in 2002. So we're in our 36th year in this game world. Well, you remember in Elfsborg we're in, I think, our 8th or 9th, so this is a much more mature game world. They did win the Scottish final against Hearts, but other than that, they went in the UEFA Cup and they didn't do that much. So this side is due for a good, nice old facelift. So in this special episode, we'll just go through what my initial steps of a new side is going to be like, because I haven't done this for a while, and hopefully I'm going to stay at Hibernian for quite a while now, until whenever the game ends. So their current squad is very small. It's only 17 players. So basically, this is a typical situation of an AI bot, which did have this side before, just hasn't invested in getting players and just letting the side rot, to be honest with you. So we're down to 17 first team players. Normally, you should have at least 24, 25 players. So I can't sell anyone yet because the squad is too few. As you can see, a lot of players have got contracts due, because the contracts is this little symbol here. What my plans are is none of the goalies are going to stay. All 3 of them are pretty weak. Basically, when you're in Division 3 League Hibernian players, you need players roughly in the high 70s, mid 80s to do really well in your side, because they will progress, because generally in League 3 the general other opposition are quite weak. As you can see, we have got 290 players, so that's really good, and a few 80 players, like a good striker and like that. So we've got the basics of a good side we can form here. Using my points up here, which is free when you look at your own players, remember, these are patron points, by the way, if you invest in money every month, which I recommend doing. I've reviewed these 2 players, my 2-star defenders, Marshall and Winters, and Marshall is rated 9.4, which is really good, and Winters is rated 8.9. Generally 8.9, I would he is one of the best players in the squad, but I would rather have a 9.0 plus player. So I'm going to probably I can't sell him because I've got too few players, so I might have to let the contract go. So I might have to let him go for a free, which is not ideal, I must admit. But his wage is 7,000, which is actually pretty decent. So I'm still thinking I might keep him, might not. It depends on what type of players I can bring in. But that's the problem about starting with a club so down the league structure in Scotland, and also we're a level 3 side, I think. Yes, we're a level 3 side. We won't be attracting many players coming to our side. So you will, when you start a new club and you're on a low level, you will have problems getting players coming in. So you might have to rely on loanies and, as I said before, good youth players. We have got quite a decent amount of youth players already in the side, which is good. What you normally do is you have a quick overview and see what they are like, and if you can review them, even better, because it will be free. So for instance, let's go for the goalie first, Birchill. Like, he's rated 49/16, so even in this poor club we've got, Hibernian, he's not worth it. He's just not good enough by a long way. So you free transfer him normally, and then you look at other players that potentially might be good staying at the club. So for instance, the first one here, Hill, he's 69 rating defence, which is decent. He's got a good value of 95,000, so there's a remote chance he might be pretty good. Remote is the word though. He's going to turn 18 next tick though, so if I generally was looking at this as a level 8 manager or something like that at PSG or Real Madrid, I would let him go, because I can get better players than this. But because we haven't got that many good players, I actually will see what he's reviewed, and he's a 7.5, so actually he is shit. So he will go, which is a shame. It would be nice to have a bargain youth player straight away. But again, I'm going to try get the money down, and when I'm down to about 15 to 20 million, then I will hopefully start getting 1 or 2 decent youth players. That always might not happen though. It's just luck most of the times you're going to get decent use or not. So Wallace, he's got 52, which means he could possibly develop. He's had already 8 games. You can see he's definitely not ready for first team because 4.4 is terrible. He's going to be 17 soon, so I'm very likely I'm going to say goodbye to him as well. Yeah, he's only a 7.4. He's at a 5, which is really, really, really low. He could possibly go up to 7.4, so he could possibly go up by another 24 points, basically. 5.0 to 7.4 is 24 points. And so he could go up another 24, but that means his maximum is going to be around 76, so he's going to be poor anyway. So he will likely to go. If we just have a quick look at all the other youth players, there's none really that hit me. Let's see, Fox. Fox is a 52 and he's 16 years old. He's played 1 game, but again, he's another that's turning 17 very soon. So what is his rating? 7.5. Yeah, he's another crap player, so he's going to go. So it looks like I'm currently going to have no youth players from the current crew into the side who will develop. Okay, let's look at Ferguson. Actually, he's going to turn 17 soon. Oh, they're all turning 17 soon, which, if in the way I do the game, if they're in their late 50s, early 60s, and they're turning 17, then I would not keep them unless the assistant rating is very good. Oops, I've done it twice. Never mind. Yeah, he's a 7, so he's only going to go up 18 points, which means his maximum he can go up is 75. So, nah, no point keeping him. So I'm just going to have to rely on the computer to give me some good youths maybe in the future, but it might not take for quite a while yet. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it don't. Like I remember on the Elfsborg save, which the series is still going on, by the way. We'll be doing a new episode very soon. On the Elfsborg save, I had very low money and I was getting some really good youths right at the start, and now that's dried up because we're getting richer and richer. The more richer you get, basically, the less better youths you'll get, except for you will get the rare occurrence of 1 or 2 decent ones coming in straight away, and you know they're decent by their values. So the next thing I do is I analyse the squad. Like the goalies is poor, so all of them will go. Then you've got Mitchell here, 25 years old, 75 main rating. He's got some decent secondary stats, but not really good. He's 25 assistant rating. He's actually signed a new contract, which you can always get rid of eventually. And what is he like? He's an 8, average, poor, average. Basically, if I find any players 8.5 or above, I normally will keep them at the moment. So that defender I might have to keep because it's just so poor. Then we got this player here. Yeah, straight away he's going to go because his highest ratings tackling his defender is 68, which is poor. He's 25 years old, so he's not going to develop that much. And I'm guessing his assistant rating is going to be, yeah, it's 7.3. As you can see there, there's no more. He could progress to blah blah blah, which means he's not going to progress anymore. So he's an instant goodbye. I could even free transfer him because we've got so much money. It's no way of getting rid of your money is free transferring players when you can. But again, I need to actually get up to at least 25 players to start free transferring these because the squad is too small. Then you've got Gemini. Now Gemini's contract is due. I'm one to get rid of him. So this is one way you can get rid of players, even if your squad is too few. If the contract's up, just let the contract go, and then he'll leave anyway. The board can't intervene because we're not paying him anymore. So as he's going, I'm going to see his assistant report anyway. He's 73, main stat, 24 years old, not brilliant. Yeah, 7.5. So he's going to be free transferred automatically by the computer when his contract is up, and that will be in February, so in 2 months' time. What I'm hoping to do, if this series gets this back to basics series, I suppose I'll call it, is successful, then I might do another one of Hibernian, but maybe in a couple of months' time where it's more advanced. The Elfsborg series is going to be a lot more frequent, obviously, until certain things happen. But what you do again is you analyse each of the players. You decide if you want to keep or you don't want to keep. Like this guy here, he's got very good, good standard stats there. The ones that I highlighted there: tackling, passing, shooting, speeds, control, heading. They're all quite decent for him. So he might have a chance to stay because he's a midfielder, but he's also got very good defensive and attacking stats, even though he's not playing in those positions. So he could be a good defensive midfielder. For instance, because then you can use your tackling stat. But I'm going to see what his assistant report is, and he is he's only a 7.6, so he won't develop anymore, so he will eventually go. And then yeah, you quickly just go through all the other players. For instance, White, he's 32 years old, so he's got very good secondary stats, so I wouldn't be too surprised if he actually had a bigger career. Let's have a look. He was at Inverness beforehand. He's a leader type. Yeah, he's been a Ponian for 13 seasons. He's been around for a long time, but he never really fully developed. So he looks like he could be captain of the side because he had the leader type skill, which means he'd be ideal for captaincy. He's 32 years old, so he's very experienced. So he's in my side, so I'll probably put him as captain for the time being. But eventually, I'll just let his contract go, which will be next year. He won't be staying with us. And then you've got other players like Toki's pretty okay. He's got some very good secondary stats there. He does a lot of assists. That's what that means. Goals is there, how many goals he scored, and that's how many assists. So you put assistant report there. I just want to see how good he is. He's an 8, just an 8. So he will eventually go. So yeah, straight away you can see this is a pretty damn poor side. But that's the reason of me taking over. And then Sullivan, he'll probably stay for a bit because his shooting stat is 81. But he's a midfield left, I've got no really decent midfield lefts at the moment, so he'll probably stay. White and Sullivan will probably stay for a bit longer because, again, lack of players. White here, he's the first player that will probably go. He's crap. I've got some really bad players here. And then we got some decent strikers. Vermeulen, he already looked at, and he's pretty good. Very good secondary stats for this league, because just remember, this is League Division 3. So he will do very well. He's already scored 7 goals this season. So former Hamilton player. Hamilton were one of the biggest sides in this game world for quite a long time, many years ago though. He's an international as well, so he's a Belgian international. So not anymore, I guess, but he did play for the side 3 times. So he'll definitely stay. He's got a big star range that might attract some income and merchandise. Again, try to get as many of these big star players in if you can. So that's why I'm negotiating contract with him. Contract's due there, so I said, yeah, he's good enough to stay. And now Bill Murray, the Hollywood actor's here. No. He's only scored 3 goals in his 15 appearances. I'll be interested to see what his assistant report is, because at the moment his place in the club is really safe, but he's only an 8.6. 8.6 means I'll keep him for a little while longer, but eventually I might look to sell him. He'll be 29, so he's only probably got really 2 good seasons before his stats could start dropping. When they hit 30 plus, stats may drop, but it's random. But there's a good 80-85% that all these stats will start dropping when it hits 30, 31. Hence why you see on the transfer market so many players in their 30s, because us human managers just won't want to play them. But you might get the odd 1 or 2 are still pretty decent. So there you go. So I've done some quick analysis there. So basically, the squad is crap. I'm relying heavily on hopefully some decent youths coming in, and also, but the first thing I need to do is actually start spending money, which is always a good thing. My board, you always look at the board when you start a club. Avoid relegation. That's fine by me, because this is a major rebuilding season. I don't see us going up very high this year. Well, if we do, depending on how crap the rest of the division is, I suppose. The board's happy. I've only just joined. We can spend much more. That's your indication that you can put as much money, spend as many players as you want. Our company is all greens mostly, so that's really healthy state. So our financial state is actually really healthy. Of course, when you join the club, you put your own little investment in. So they were originally around 70 million, because I've spent already 10 on ground maintenance. So their wage bill is, as you can highlight here, their wage bill is really, really, really low, which is a really good start for us. 40,000 for all these players. There's players at my big club at Real Madrid that are on more wages than that, double that even. As you can see, even on non-competitive days, they are making money. This will change. This will be in debt when I start putting decent players in and stuff like that, because I will be spending a lot of money, which is always a good thing again. So the next thing I'll look then is what type of players I need to get into the squad. Basically, I need a goalie. Goalie was the most urgent thing I need. So now I'm going to start spending money. So I've already put bids in for these 4 players. But again, bear in mind when you're starting a new club and your levels, say level 3 or below, you might get a lot of players saying, nah, don't want to join you. You're not good enough for me. I prefer staying here. You might even put some loan bids in and they say straight away, nah, don't want to join you. So getting rid of money actually can be quite hard at times. So I've already put in the bid for a defender here. It's pretty decent. He'll help us out. Sheffield Wednesday, probably one of the biggest sides in GW1. I put a bid for their attacker because he's good for 4 million. Anyone like this could score plenty in Scotland. But there's a chance that he might not want to join us because he's coming from a level 8 side, which is Sheffield Wednesday. Preston. Here's a goalie bid. Again, I'm not looking for high goalie bids ratings because it's highly unlikely I'll be getting them. This is a high 80s player, so there's a good chance I might get him. And then Andy Hayes in Vaduz in Israel. Oh, he's currently on Israel loan. He's a good all-rounder, and that's no reason why I put him in. I'm not too concerned about the age. Normally I would go for younger players, but again, this is just to help us out for the first season or two. I've also put some, I won't go for all these, but these are various free transfer bids for players who will help us for a season or two. So the main idea is I'm looking for players that will help us for the first 2 seasons, get this over 25 players. I can then get rid of literally all these players, get some youths coming in, and hopefully getting the money down as well to about 15-20 million. So if you look at the table again, we're currently there. We're in 8th place. It's very tight actually, this league. So if we start actually going on a good little run, we could even get it up into the top 2, and then it will take us a while to get up to the top league. Brecon are the top side in Scotland here. No Celtic or Rangers like real life. Brecon are a very established side. I've been playing a lot of friendlies with them when I was in my bigger clubs. And you can see why they're very good. They are very, very good. In Scotland, obviously, you get some Champions League places. I will not even think about Europe or any European places, not for another 2-3 seasons yet, because I'm rock bottom at the moment. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting little mini challenge here. Spend as much money as I can, get it down to about 15-20 million. Invest in the stadium, which always takes money. And there's the ticket prices I put on there. So I've already gone up 2,000 seats. Get the money down from where it is at the moment down to about 15-20 million. Hopefully start getting some decent youngsters coming in. Then because my squad's not very good, if I do get 1 or 2 decent youngsters, ratings of above 8.5 above, they will become regulars in the side and they could stay with us for quite a long time. But it depends on what quality players I'm trying to get in. You also, when you start a new side, always look for the transfer markets around the whole map and see if there's any players that hit that you think are good enough for your side. So try the big 5: England, France, Spain, Germany, Italy. But bear in mind, if you're level 3 or below, it's highly more likely that you won't get most of these players. One thing about GW1, this is a lot more established game worlds, the oldest game world of the lot, is that you'll see an increase of mostly loanies. The transfer market is active, it's pretty decent, but most people nowadays are putting their players up for loan, which benefits them. It kind of benefits you a bit as well if you really need loanies. Like English Premier League, one of the toughest leagues up there, I think, with Italy, it's mostly a loan market. So I think most of the human managers are trying to get the AI bots to go and loan their players, but it's not happening at the moment. Okay, this is a good one. Fist 92 transfer. He's only 531k for 532,000k. Not bad, not bad. Yeah, so it's mostly loan markets in the more established game worlds, which is great if you want to have that short-term fix of getting loanies in to help your side out a bit, but not great if you're really rebuilding a side. If you want to buy your own players who fit you, who you know won't leave after 6 months or 12 months, no matter how long the loan contract is. So in this club I'm doing, I'm gonna not go for loanies unless I really have to. If I'm trying to buy players and 90% of them say no, then I might have to go for the 1 or 2 loanies just to help me out a bit, because my main purpose is to get rid of most of this squad and rebuild it basically. Because at the moment I'll probably only keep Marshall, maybe Winters and Vermeulen and Murray for a little while. Other than that, all the rest of these are going to go. So it'll be interesting if you do come back and do like this back to basics series, that back to basics episode, because this is a special, this might not be a series, that you'll see what this Hibernian side will look like in 2, 3, 4 game months time, like a before and after basically. But again, don't worry, the Managersim beginner series of Älvsborg in Sweden, which is on my YouTube channel of course, is still happening. We're going to be episode 54, 55 by the time I'm recording this very soon. That's going pretty well, but I thought it'd be just nice to have a slight alternative of what's going on. I'll just quickly, as we're recording this, show you my main account, which is my Real Madrid side. As you can see, we've only just started, that's why we're second to bottom, and we did play our last 2 league games was away to Mallorca and away to Barcelona, the top 2 sides in this league, so it's difficult. It's good. It's a very difficult start, and there's my side there. We're still rebuilding. We've got some really good players there. I bought some former PSG players in, so there's 3 of them. Yeah, because I lost my PSG job, which was a real shock, because I was manager of them for 23 years. Yeah, I'm still a bit miffed about that, but that's another story. So I have vowed I'm never going to go back to France. It's like when you've been managing or playing for a big club in real life, like Man United or Man City, you'll never go back and manage another club in that division. So that's how I'm kind of feeling. But anyway, that's what this little special is all about. This back to basics special. How I'm going to try to rebuild Hibernian and take them up to the top of the Scottish League. And we'll do another back to basics episode if people like this. It's all depends on you, the viewer. If you like this little special series, an alternative to the Älvsborg series, then please let me know. This is not going to be an alternative to the Älvsborg series. This is just a special, going into a different game world completely, a more established game world as this game world is. This is 2038, remember, and this is 36 seasons we've done in this game world compared to 8 or 9 in the Älvsborg. So this is more established. Yeah, just let me know if you like this back to basics, and I will carry on maybe in a few months time, just to show you how different the side looks, or if the experiments worked. Have I got some decent youths? It'll be interesting. But I know one thing for certain, I definitely need to get rid of a lot of players. But anyway, this is Donut Donny signing out, so let me know what you think. Goodbye.